your team, trade them out. Brag it to your mates like you never had a doubt. It's FMDT coming around for you. Cause no one really knows the way you pick like you do. Injuries or worse, suddenly retired and hurt. Get your backs, forwards and mids, never satisfied, you've always got the shits. It's FMDT coming around for you. FMDT, 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 FMDT coming right for you. FMDT, there's nothing you can do. FMDT coming around for you.
Welcome to our grand final edition of FMDT. That's right, the grand final is happening this week. There are two lucky grand finalists. Neither one of us.
Can you believe that if I had won that game against Kieran, that he beat me by 1 point like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I'd be on the other side of the draw.
Yeah.
Would have been playing against freaking
alright.
Sahil.
But
He wouldn't have to play Scratchy. I'd be in the grand final this week, and you know, $100.
man, you
at least.
gotta get over it, man.
Now my season is pointless.
It is pointless.
What am I even here for?
You're right. Your season has basically come out to mean nothing. But you gotta get over it, man. We've got a show to do. We've got two grand finalists to talk about. It is that time of year. It's the crunch time. One lucky person will be named the winner of the B Money Draft League. Unfortunately, it won't be us. I know that some of us have very bitter feelings at the moment. Some wounds are much more recent than others. I guess I got over my losses a long time ago. I accepted my fate.
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, so while my compatriot here gathers himself together, puts himself together, let's see what they have to say over at the newsroom about the week that just passed. Sean and Bert.
That'd be interesting. Oh, thanks, Bart and Shane. We have a lot of finals action to catch up on in the news this week.
Indeed we do. The second week of finals just passed. And in the first prelim, the studious Squires scored his opponent and booked himself a grand final ticket. The Cornflakes stayed true to their tortoise persona and were slow off the mark, their team failing to gel with their numerous new recruits and posting severely below average performances. An injury to Brodie Smith and a late withdrawal by Sam Kerridge gave Coach Shane a glimmer of hope. However, they left it all too late, and despite 240s in their final game, they were unable to overcome the danger zone's 16.5 players and lost by 121 points. Can't believe they couldn't get over that one. I had all the hope, all the luck they could get.
That's unlucky. Moving on to what can only be described as the worst final ever seen in league history, with the second and third lowest scores in the league for the week. I shot the Sharon dragged their way over the line against the old rivals Manny Barcelona. The Barcelonians finally succumbed to their late season crumble that had been threatening for weeks. Their famed free agent backline only combined to average 57 points between them, letting them down big time. The Sharons got away with one this week to fall into the grand final, but will need to somehow find an extra 200 points at least to have any chance in the big game this weekend.
Snuck on in there though.
Fell, I believe, is what happened.
Right, well, in the consolation finals, Palmer's Pups and the Lynch Mob continued a rich yet rare vein of form and won their respective matches. The unlikely combination of 11th and 12th will now be dueling it out for the number one pick. Meanwhile, Too Delicious had nothing left to offer against the sellouts, and his dismal season culminated in last place.
It's pretty dismal.
I will say, don't know what that guy's doing.
Well, Elsewhere in the battle for 5th, DK Smash and Millsy's Megaheads had a high-scoring shootout, with both teams hitting over 1600 and having their best display in weeks. Fans were left wondering where these performances were last week. DK Smash proved victorious by 29 points, one final close loss to add to Millsy's record books.
It's had quite a few of them.
He has. It's been that kind of year for him. But
At least it's over.
either of them would have beaten any of the other 4 finalists in the top 6 this week. So
Indeed they would have.
they've
So,
done well.
well, at the wrong time, but sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, on that note, I think we can head back to the draft hub. But looks like
See you guys.
Shane's recovered himself.
Alright, thanks for that, Sean and Bert. So I guess that leads us perfectly right into talking about the grand final.
What?
What?
Well, can I just do studs?
You've been waiting for a long time for this, haven't you?
We pushed it out last week. We pushed it out the week before. It's like going to be the last episode or something. We got to get this out of the way.
Alright, man.
Don't you want to know?
If that's what perks you up and
Well, I
gets you
put
going.
hours of research and time into this.
I know you have. Alright.
Mainly because since round 13, I didn't record anything until last week.
People want to know. People want to know who our studs are, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Well, just to set the scene, last time we looked at studs, Sahil was leading the way on 12 points, and you were behind him on 8, 4 points behind.
Yeah, I was our best hope.
Yes.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
That was in round 13, and now I'll go through every single player from the last... I'm not going to do that. Because that would even bore me. No, it probably wouldn't, but I'm sure it would bore everybody else. A couple of interesting things.
Yeah.
Some of the players who have won the free agent stud points.
Oh yeah, I know that those take a little while for you to work out.
It takes such a long time.
Yeah.
But some of the actual players, Mav Weller, that was an interesting one.
Oh yeah.
Kane Mitchell, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Josh Dunkley, who I got rid of, who Cam traded to me, I got rid of him. Cam picked him up and got a stud point.
Whoa.
So.
104.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Stretch, Billy Stretch.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'm pretty sure he's got you multiple stud points this year.
Yeah, he got me another free agent one. I think I dropped him and picked him up.
So you got 2 free agent points from him.
Yeah, it's good stuff. That's the tactic.
But the most interesting week was in round, I don't know, whatever round it was, a couple of weeks ago. The highest scoring free agent was Sam Menegola with 100 points.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah, but he was on the bench. So we had to move on. Schoenfield, the Gold Coast, I think, who had 85 points.
Right, okay.
But he was on the bench.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
So we had to move on. Ryan Clark with Kangaroos.
He was on the bench?
81 points. He was on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so moving right along. Ryan Davis.
Yeah, Ryan Davis.
Yeah. 79 points.
No, that
on
guy.
the bench.
Did anybody start any
Who's
free
next?
agents?
Tarrant. Robbie Tarrant. 77 points for Sahil. Nah, was on the bench.
Really?
Next one, Aaron Francis from the Bombers. Gun, 72 points for Millsy.
That was it. That was the one, 72 points.
No, he was on the bench.
So who was it?
It was
What?
Green with 64 points.
Green. Who?
I don't know. I've just got Green here.
Not Toby, I guess.
Josh.
Definitely not
Green.
Toby Green.
Josh Green from the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah.
64 points.
64 points are the best free agent.
The 8th best free agent of the week.
Wow, that was a low point that week.
Got Millsy a stud point.
Because I know most other weeks it's been a ton.
First or the second.
It's basically just been a
Normally
ton.
Yeah. I tried to look at who had the most free agent stud points.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
So
interesting.
whoever got the best like pick up and played on that ground that week.
That's interesting.
I thought it was going to be very interesting. Turns out, 4-way tie between you,
Ooh, yeah, okay. With Billy Stretch getting 2 of them. Yeah.
me,
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Cam, the free agent,
Yeah, the recycler.
recycler, and Sahil.
The Midas Touch, of course, yeah. Was that Daniel Talia a couple of times, probably.
Yeah, at least once.
Yeah.
So all of us had it 3 times, and then Ian Millsy Mills and Alec had 2, with Steve, Ash, Nick, and Ian Nielsen with 1, and Kieran and Max 0.
Wow, are they just not playing that free agent lottery at all? I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. We'll have to look into it
I
more.
don't see Kieran too active there, so perhaps. But
Yeah, Max definitely picks him up.
But just has no luck. That doesn't bode well going into the grand final.
No, but anyway, that's some interesting free agent stats.
Any more interesting stud facts?
The winner of the stud.
Yeah, straight into it. Please let us know. Do you want a little drum roll?
Well, I'll do a little drum roll, but I'm not going straight to the winner.
Well, no, you wouldn't do that. You'd start from the bottom.
Start from the bottom.
Not the very bottom.
Well, the very bottom.
Okay, sure.
I can tell you the very bottom.
Let's name and shame them.
Do it very quickly.
Sure.
Nick. The new man in the league, Palmer's Pups.
Easy. Done? Yeah.
He's got 1 extra point since we last spoke and ended up on 2.
Finished 11th, kind of makes sense.
Then Kieran with 3, Ian Nielsen with 4, Max with only 5, Cam with 7, Alec with 7. That's the bottom 6. Yeah. Yeah. So
Alright. So,
yeah. So moving into the top 6.
Yeah, feeling good.
He's still there. Equal 4th is Millsy, Smash, and you.
Ah.
on 10
What a
points.
letdown. Oh, it's a big jump.
10 points. So you got yourself 2 points since we last.
My coincide with a little bit of selling out. What happened?
Millsy got himself a league equal high 5 points in the last 7 rounds.
Right, yeah.
5 stud points to take himself from 5 to 10. So that was good from him. And Ash got 4 in the last 7 rounds. But that brings us to the top 3. Coming in bronze medal.
The Olympic themed
Is Steve Scratchy Squires.
Ah, wow, a league leader, only 3rd.
On 11 points. But since we last did studs, he got 5 points.
That's pretty big.
4 of them were Brody Grundy.
Wow. I was wondering why Max Gorn didn't get me more points.
Yeah.
Bloody Grundy.
Brody Grundy just smashed out the last half of the season.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I do notice that leaves you.
That leaves me and Sahil. I've gotten also an equal 5 points since we last spoke.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. To put me on the score that Sahil was on when we last saw him. 12 in 2nd place.
And so I take it that our winner is...
Sahil got 3 more points in the last 7 weeks and has managed to keep his hold just on top of the studs ladder with 15 points.
Congratulations, Sars.
So he
At least he won something this season.
ran out to an early lead and hung on all year.
Yeah, he got something. That's a consolation prize for him.
I think he's quite lucky that it stopped before finals.
Yeah.
Because even just this week, I only got 2 from Johannesson and Zach Merritt.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't matter anymore.
I do notice, though, that it's interesting that it's quite reflective of the ladder there. So you've got... Basically, the top 6 is the same as the ladder, except that I'm in there.
Yep.
And the bottom 6 is the same as the ladder, except that Max finds himself in there. So you swap me and Max, and you've basically got the same top 6. So I wonder how that happened.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. I feel I've got gypped this season, basically. What am I doing on top of the studs?
I'm pretty sure Max Gorn has gotten you like 6 or 7 of your 10 points. Billy Stretcher's got 2 of them.
Legend. All those Melbourne players. Maybe I should just get more Melbourne players.
It's a good tactic for next year.
Telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Load up on Melbourne players. Do it.
Yeah. Makes it just a one-man team, is that? That's what it's telling me. Yeah, cool. Good.
But, good point. Doesn't mean much. But it is interesting that it's basically the top 6, so...
Yeah, because you think they all have, like, the good players.
So that tells you that you need to have good players to get into the top 6.
It means that Max doesn't have any.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Good. Okay, on that bombshell.
That bodes well for the grand final.
Alright.
Bombshell. So now we can talk about the grand final then.
No, well, I feel like if you get your time to talk about all of your stats, I've got some to talk about as well.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always.
Well, I've prepared a very interesting little segment, actually. I am looking at the best possible draft that you could have done. Basically, if we go back in time, we go back to draft day, factoring in keepers and everything, you're sitting there. Yeah.
So I can't pick Zach Merritt in round 10.
You can't pick Zach
in
Merritt.
the ultimate draft.
If you had the ultimate draft, how would you have done? You know, because it's quite interesting. I kind of want to know how good could your team really be if you had just gone perfectly every round.
Did you pick the best player out of all the round 1 players?
Basically, that's the way it worked. So it was going to be a little bit too difficult to go by and pick and try and find what you would have got at a certain pick number. So basically, it's worked out to be just per round what your best players were. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit imperfect, but it gives us a pretty good idea of what could have been. A lot of players I've actually had to pick a little bit earlier than they were picked. Oh. So, well, we'll get to that. We'll see what's happened. So, in the first round, the best player that you could have taken is Dustin Martin. So, not Rockcliffe. Who was actually very, very close, but the fact that he missed some time this season sort of knocked him down a peg.
Right.
I was really looking at players that had scored the most this season, and basically he's got you the most points overall. Yeah. And Dustin Martin, without Zach Merritt there, is actually the best forward. So taking the number 1 forward, and by quite a margin, I should say. Well, him and Nick Rehbold were very close, but apart from that...
Nick Rehbold you don't have to worry about for a while.
Yes. So Dustin Martin, number 1 pick. Number 2, we take Luke Parker, so we get our first centre. Pick number 3, we get a defender, Kate Simpson.
Oh, Simpson.
Who was actually picked in the 6th round, but we take him a little bit earlier here because there are better players still to come.
Wow.
Like in the 4th round, we take James Kelly, who was actually picked in the 5th round, but we take him here. So we've got 2 defenders now. In the 5th round, we go for another forward. Your mate, Nick Rehbold.
What a gun.
Yeah, one of the best forwards out there. So you've got 2 really solid forwards, 2 solid defenders, Luke Parker. We add in the 6th round, Sam Doherty.
Oh, another defender.
Yeah. So
stacking up.
Yes, exactly. Stack up the defense. 7th round, Canelio. 8th round, we take Gibbs. 9th round, Hunter. And 10th round, Nathan Jones. So we go on a big run of centres there.
Nathan Jones.
Yeah, well, Canelio as well. But yeah, there was a lot of talent left there towards the end of the end of that round.
That's interesting.
Now, I'm not going to run through the entire thing because that's going to take too long. What I will do is post it up or put up a little image so you can have a look at how that perfect draft board would have stacked up. What I can tell you though is that quite a few interesting things came out of this. Yeah. So basically, with the team that you would be starting, so basically I took the best 18 starters. Just FYI. I also threw in a few emergencies in there, just for interest's sake.
Yeah.
I didn't really bother too much with the final rounds because most of these guys actually played every single game, so it doesn't really matter about your backups too much. With these guys playing every single game, your team would be averaging 1,755 points. Which is pretty good, right? Which is pretty good.
Take that.
It might not sound as impressive as it should, though, because you think, people have hit over 1,750 before.
Once, twice.
A couple of times. If you take our league leader and you take out his scores from his buys, which obviously are a lot lower, and you look at his average for the season, he was actually only averaging 1,581 for the season. Right? So not even over 1,600.
Yeah.
Yeah. This team averages 1,755. Over the whole season,
Right, I guess.
this ultimate team would have beaten our league leader, would have outscored him by about 3,500 points. They would have had 3,500 points scored more than he would. Yeah. And it's good. It's like it's an actual team that you could have drafted. You know, imagine if you sat there at draft day and just every single one of these guys: Dustin Martin, Luke Parker, Nick Revolt, you know, Bryce Gibbs, and you're taking them.
Yeah.
I mean, you imagine that you had to face this team week after week. It would just be insane.
Imagine facing this team in round 1, you'd be like, I've got this. And then you just get smashed.
Yes, absolutely.
So what this tells me is that next year, you should draft like 3 backs and 3 forwards and then go on centres. And then just get like 5 centres in a row.
Well, yeah. It is interesting because there's such a drop off from your really good defenders to your crappy defenders. So the ultimate team has 3 defenders who are averaging about 100.
Yeah.
It has 2 forwards who are averaging over 100. But then the rest of those forwards go in the high 80s and down. Same with the defenders, it actually goes from about the mid 80s and down. And so I don't know what that tells you about your draft next year. But yeah, it's probably a lot of food for thought. So, I mean, if you're someone like me who's been thinking about the 2017 draft for a long time now, this is actually really valuable stuff.
Right, I've been thinking about it about 2 days.
The other interesting little tidbit that came out of this was with rucks. So the best ruck for this ultimate team was actually Scott Lysett, who was drafted in the 21st round. Scott Lysett, drafted in the 21st round. And he paired him up with the emergency of Tom Hickey, who was drafted in the 26th round, right? So Scott Lysett actually missed like 2 games, so you need an emergency there. But yeah, why players that have been drafted so low? Because the best 3 rucks, Gawn, Goldstein, and Grundy, all kept.
Yeah.
So couldn't touch them. After that, you've got Blicavs, Mumford, and Jacobs, all drafted relatively highly, actually. Like, they were taken with really top picks. And then you just drop down to Lysett and Hickey. And everybody else is nowhere to be seen.
Right.
And it's kind of a really, I don't know, it's really interesting with the rucks because, like Lysett, he only averaged 82 for the season. That's 25 points less than Max Gawn. That's a huge drop of points, but...
So that's 1, 2, 3. He's the 8th best ruck
He's the 8th
of the
best
whole
ruck.
year.
Yes.
And Hickey's the 9th.
Yes.
Whole.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell you too much, except that rucks are very, very valuable. And
I'll say
you should hope that you get very, very lucky and pick someone late, like win the lottery basically, with like a Tom Hickey.
Yeah.
Or try and get someone really early.
Or pick someone Jacobs in round 3.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Okay, and so if we have a look at who the best drafters are, we've actually got Max from I Shot the Sharons coming out on top. He had 4 people in the perfect draft with Lockie Hunter, Sean Grigg, Matthew Wright, and...
JJK.
JJK, correct. The one that I missed. So he was the best drafter. He was followed by Steve Scratchy Squires from the Danger Zone with 3.
So our 2 grand finalists.
Exactly. And Millsy as well, who had 3 as well. But as you can see, this model predicts the grand finalists a lot better than the studs model does, I believe. You also notice that our wooden spooner, well, our minor premiership wooden spooner,
minor premiership, right?
The Lynch Mob had 0 of the ultimate draft players in his team.
Nice.
Yeah. That does include a few gaps in the ultimate draft. That's because they weren't really necessary to fill out the draft with.
So. Oh, but it could have been Ian.
Well, it might have been. I doubt it. Even if he did have anybody good, he probably traded them away. And on that note...
Now we can talk about the grand final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually can.
Oh, okay.
It's great. Yeah.
Good. We do have the grand final matchup, but something else just before that, just to keep your eye on.
Another thing.
Just to keep your eye on, the Rockcliffe Cup.
Ah, yes, indeed.
The Lynch Mob and the Palmer's Pups are fighting it off.
And who would have thought of being those two?
11th and 12th.
Yeah, they really know how to turn it up at the wrong time of the season, don't they?
Yeah. Knocked everyone else out of the way and are playing it off for $50, isn't it? As well as
Rockcliffe.
Tom Rockcliffe.
Yeah. But, you know, it's interesting. Will the Lynch Mob actually take Rockcliffe does he even want the first pick? I mean, does he want all that pressure? Just to give him up again?
Well, if projections are anything to go by, there's 8 points in it, so should be something. It should be a good game.
Yeah.
Funnily enough.
Yeah, good. Okay. Good to see them actually battling for something.
Yeah. But, you know, more importantly, we should probably focus on the grand final.
On the big match.
Finally.
That's right.
Now, let's get into it.
And the big match, of course, pits the Danger Zone up against I Shot the Sharon. And to toot my own horn a little bit, this is the final I predicted. Right. Yeah, I've had that magic crystal ball touch for a while now.
Yep, right. So straight into it then. Who's winning? Who are you predicting?
Well, obviously the Danger Zone, but I mean that's not going to make the segment very fun, is it?
Okay, we better talk some more about club things then.
He does go in as a very obvious favourite, and definitely I Shot the Sharon has a lot of work to do here.
Yeah,
but. You know, that's not to say that things couldn't go his way. Anything can happen in fantasy football, including, you know, your opponent getting a donut, but you still don't win. So, he might need to hope for a couple of those sorts of things to go his way.
Yep, more than 2.
More than 2, that's right. Well, I guess notably then, the Danger Zone has Brodie Smith missing. So he got injured.
Yeah.
In that match, that big clash against you.
Yep.
Couldn't close out the game. And yeah, so he'll be missing this week, so there'll be a new player coming in his place.
But Max has Buddy Franklin listed as a test.
Oh, right, so that'll be a very big out.
So if he doesn't play, that's his only good forward.
Well, I mean, he got him a 30 last week, so...
Because he got injured.
Well, I mean, he played out the match. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Does he even want do I even start him? Of course you do.
Yeah. He does, however, have Jimmy Bartell coming back into his team.
Oh, that's a big in. That's a big in. But is it as big as Toby McLean? For the Danger Zone?
Don't know. Yeah. Is it?
Probably. It's probably a touch bigger.
Right.
But he's coming from 95, so who knows?
Well, Jimmy's coming off a nap, so he's just all primed to go.
Good. I think what could go in Max's favour is that, Steve, the Danger Zone has been cursed by the loophole twice this year, and I'll have you know that those are the only 2 times that he's actually used the loophole this year.
So is he going to do it?
Well, yeah, that's the question. I mean, is he brave enough to try it for a third time?
He's got some options.
Is it a case of third time lucky? He does. He actually has Lacroix again. So he had him there last week, and people were like, as if you would bench Lacroix. And it looks like he's going to do it again this week. It's up against the Crows. I don't know. He's probably. I don't know what his track record is like. I'm sure that Steve will look into it a lot. And yeah, so that could be a loophole option. He's also got. He's also actually picked up Lewis Jetta, which is.
Well, he picked him up last week to loophole him,
and he'll loophole him again.
It's not a bad loophole option. Yeah. Just a guy to sit there on your bench, and if he gets a really good score randomly.
I mean, there's probably no one better, but. You know, I would doubt it. I would be very surprised if he gets a score worthy of a loophole.
Yes, but that's why he's good to have on the bench.
Yes, I suppose. And I guess the question becomes, if he gets let's say he gets an 85, right? Does he take the risk? Not with his track record, I wouldn't think. Yeah, exactly. He's putting himself in a spot of bother there. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what he does. Does he risk, incurring the wrath of the loophole?
Max has McGovern, who he successfully loopholed last week.
That's a good option.
On his bench, so
Max is fine. Max is on the right side of the draft gods.
Loophole curse.
Yeah, he's not going to be getting that. He's not going to be getting burnt. Touch wood. Piss off. So, yes.
You sound like you're going to say something.
I do have something to say, yes. So, the Danger Zone is currently starting 4 free agents. That includes someone that they'll have to have coming in from Brody Smith. But that could go down to 2, depending on what he does with Lacroix and Mitch Robinson, who's currently got, for some reason, sitting on his bench.
Yep. Max also has 4 free agents, which he may move up a couple because he's picked up a few this week that's sitting on his bench.
Yeah, I saw that, so there could be a few rotations coming in.
And his forward line is looking rather weak.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not names that really roll off the tongue, are they? You don't want to be relying on a Peter Wright week after week.
Yeah, Lob, DeGoey and Blair. It's kind of... yeah, he really wants Franklin to be playing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I found it interesting because he did pick up a couple of people off free agency, but the top rated people this week, actually, like the people that went the best last week, were both Collingwood players. It was Jesse White, who got 122 last week, and Tom Phillips for 110. And I'm surprised that Max didn't let his bias creep in a little. But maybe he should.
Instead he picked up Honeychurch and Mzungu.
Yeah.
Kane Mitchell.
Yeah. I mean, he would really hope that he's inherited Sahil's Midas touch.
3 guys who haven't played in the last 2 or 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. This is something that Sahil would do. We'll see how it works out for Max. Hopefully he puts them through his training camp and Stephen Dent gets involved and be right up and at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also wouldn't, say it would be too crazy for him to rely on a little bit of Collingwood bias this week, because why the hell not? I mean, they're only up against the Hawks, jeez. Have you seen how they've been going recently?
Terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of the top 4.
That's right.
Okay, go on.
You smashed them, right? Tom Phillips for 150, book it in. Well, yeah, I guess that's about it, really, that I've looked at.
Well, the other big point, because we will be, some of us, gathering together on Sunday afternoon to watch the final result of this game.
Mm-hmm. And Max, I'm sure, will be tuning in eagerly from Rio.
Yeah, in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Max actually has 11 players playing on Sunday.
Oh, right, okay.
And I believe Scratchy has...
He has just 5 guys, and he's got 5 guys on Sunday and just 1 guy in the final game, which is the Bulldogs against Fremantle. He just has Toby McLean.
Right. And he might not even play him. If Lacroix loopholed on or what happens, I don't know. So he could have 0. And Max will be coming all guns blazing in the final game.
Yeah,
with
which charging.
Lockie Hunter, he'll be sweating on him. And Mundy and Biggs.
Yeah, jeez.
So in the last game, that's like, at least he'd be hoping for like 250 points from those three.
He'd hope he'd be in contention. He'd hope he'd be more in contention than you were.
Oh, yes.
When you got your two 140s.
I got 300 points from 2 players.
Yeah. And I mean, with those guys, Hunter, Biggs, Mundy, he could get big points there, so it could be interesting to see
three
that
of them
charge.
can get hundreds.
Yeah.
Easily.
No, absolutely.
All 3, or 2 of them at least, can get 60s pretty easily. So.
I'll be hoping, and I'm sure the rest of the league will be hoping, if we're all there watching it eagerly, that it is interesting, and that these guys do matter.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It comes down to the last couple of kicks.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, we
That's
could
what we want.
have another Vaco moment.
Yeah.
And then see the score retracted at the end. Oh, that'll be an amazing grand final. Let's hope that happens.
Yeah.
Everybody hopes that happens, but not Scratchy.
Also, though, seeing as we're going to be at a pub, we've got a perfect drinking game. Hunter, Mundy, Biggs, drink every time they get the ball.
Is Scratchy going to get involved in this? Like,
He'll be drinking more than all of us.
you can drink double for each of those.
Oh, he just has to skull every time the Queen touches it. But on that note, Sunday afternoon, come along to the Queen's Arms.
Yeah.
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 You're not plugging that?
Well, I mean, yeah, but you know, like, yeah, like, I'm plugging it on Facebook. Yeah, we'll plug it. I don't know, man. What if some random person watches our video and they're like, oh, Queen's Arms, eh? Well, I don't know, fine, come.
What's wrong with that?
Come.
I want you to come more than any of these other
random
guys.
guys. Come join us at the Queen's Arms on Sunday.
Yeah, and drink for Hunter and Mundy.
Or random, you know, lady. Like,
Well,
well,
wouldn't discriminate.
yeah.
They might take us off the air. Alright.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so we'll be at the King's Head on Sunday. Come join
Queen's
us.
Arms.
Someplace named after
Some
the Queen.
royalty appendage.
Some part of the Queen. Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah.
So alright, so what do you think? Winner and margin?
I want to pick Max, but I just
But you can't.
don't think that anyone can beat Scratchy.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping it's close. I say, just for hope's sake, 5 points. No,
5 points to keep it
happen.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, but that's what I want to happen.
Alright, what if I say we're going to stake a drink on it, so you have to put a proper
Okay.
bet in?
A drink.
Yeah,
Okay.
a drink at the Queen's appendage.
Queen's appendage. I will say Stephen Scratchy Squires, but now you get to know what I say, and then you can adjust your score accordingly.
Alright, fine, do you want me to write it down and we'll reveal it once?
Do you have a number in your head? We'll both just say it at the same time.
Well, how do you not go for the same winner?
Well, I don't.
Yeah. So
Are you going for the same
very
winner?
presumptious of you.
Well, are you going for Max?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going for on the count of 3, okay? And the margin.
Okay.
Alright, hang on. Let me think about the margin for a second. No. What's the projection say? It says 76.
Come
Okay.
on.
Okay. There's a lot of calculations going on. I'm going to be exact. I've got a reputation to uphold.
Right.
With the,
Right.
you know, with the crystal ball.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
So, yeah. 3, 2, 1. The danger zone by 162.
Easy, there's plenty of margin there.
55, 162. Alright.
There we go.
Yeah.
So I've got 55 to like 100.
Yeah.
Odd.
Roughly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
So
that,
you basically need to be over 100.
yeah.
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 There we go.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, I don't think it's going to be that close, but I hope it will. Kind of. No, I don't.
What have you done?
I don't know. I'm totally in Scratch's corner now.
Yeah.
Yeah, go danger zone.
Oh, so now I can be totally in Max's corner.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Because I'll still win if Max wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I like it. On that note, I guess we thank everybody for watching.
Mm-hmm.
We won't thank them for the whole year because I think we're going to push out an extra episode after next week or the week after.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be doing one post everything.
Post-season analysis.
Yeah, once we get around
Celebration.
to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So maybe look out for it in like February.
Yeah. Maybe a Christmas special for maybe Easter.
Yes. But thank you for watching.
Yeah, looking forward to that grand final. It's going to be a big one. So, good luck to our grand finalists.
And good luck for those going for the 9th and 10th draft pick. Anyway. Some of us have already finished for the year.
Oh, great. I just get to kick back and watch some football.
Have fun. Good luck. See you later.
Adios.
How do you feel like finishing last?
Pretty bad.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
What?
Doesn't that mean you have to be scribe next year?
Oh, shit.
Ha!
Yeah, it sure does.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Prepare
whatever.
your knees. Prepare your legs.
Yeah, you got any other tips for me?
Buy a ruler.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get a lot of practice in, I think. Oh, this is the worst job.
And prepare your spreadsheet. Even better than usual.
Oh my god.
With live updates. Voice activated live updates. That way you won't have to worry about keeping it up to date while you're writing.
It's gonna be even worse than this, yeah. When I was hungover. Oh.
Oh. Brilliant.
So you want to get the board at the optimal height. Like, look at the team down the bottom there. Like, can you reach that team? Like, you might need the board just a bit higher than that.
How do you get this writing so straight?
And look at these lines here. Like, you can't have lines like this. Look at the size of this bottom one compared to this top one.
No, it's all whack.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to focus on getting that correct.
This is a lot of technical information.
Yeah, I can write you like a dossier or something.
That'll be good.
Send it through to you.
Yeah. What's
Also,
sort of physical fitness?
Yeah, just gotta make sure you keep your legs loose. Like, you don't want to be too tense.
Because I feel like my knees will get a bit, sore.
You're gonna have to employ someone to run your barbecue because you're gonna be stuck in here the whole time.
This is the worst thing that could possibly happen to me.
I'm not good at being like pissed off.
Well, just think about, how all your players do. Think about rants and the fact that you started Oleg Markov this week.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking? Really being on the other side of the finals, Shane. If only you didn't lose to Kieran. Jeez. Could have been a finalist.
Yeah.
Could have made money.
Oh,
Yeah.
$100.
Yep. That's right. Instead, your season has had to be completely pointless.
Completely.
Completely pointless. You got nothing for it. Nothing to show. Yeah. Alright. You got the right mindset now. I like how you tried to do a bit that wasn't written down.
And it didn't work at all.
You can never go off script. This coffee's rubbish, Shane. It doesn't exist.
It's even worse than that stuff that the other guy gave me.
Yeah, Jesus.
You can't put that in because you called me Shane.
Oh, damn